All right, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Good afternoon, good evening. What's going on? This is Rajay Anthony Ali, and we're here with Nerdcamp Sports. I got my co-host. We got Mike Williams. We got R&B. Gentlemen,
What up, with
it's been over a week. We got some topics to cover. How's everyone doing first and foremost?
Uh, I would say today my mental health is on like a 9. Um,
Good. I love to hear
yeah,
that.
Everything right now, a lot of things are falling into place and going real well. A lot of positive stuff. So I can't be mad at that. So yeah, I would say I'm on about a 9 right today.
Awesome. Awesome. R&B, how's everything, man? How are you?
man? We're just taking it one day at a time, fellas. I'd probably say I'm around about a 3. I'm I'm just living right now. I'm just living and processing and just trying to figure it all out, man. But I ain't giving up though.
Good, man. And it'll definitely get better as the days go by, man. All right, gentlemen. So we're going to talk about a few topics that I think are very, very interesting. We're going to start off with the WNBA. Let's start off with that because we don't really show a lot of love to the WNBA, but I think it's necessary, especially now in this type of climate. Recently, there's a lot of debate about what a woman is, according to the commissioner of the WNBA and also coaches. They're now going back to the drawing board because recently Enes Kanter and I believe his name is Royce. I can't remember the other gentleman's names, but there's two former NBA players actually got into the conversation, low key trolling, but they said that they are self-identifying as women and they're declaring for this 2027 draft. And it's just a complete mess at this point. So we're gonna start off with R&B. R&B, what is your thoughts about grown-ass men now self-identifying as women and trolling the WNBA to make them go back to the drawing board and fix their rules for what's a woman?
Man, this is a touchy subject, a tough one. I'll be honest. When I was trying to put together a list of things to talk about, this definitely came across my scanner, and I'm gonna give you your props because you brave for tackling it. Because I had said nah, I was like nah, we ain't gonna tackle this one because what I'm saying, I don't want the wrong shit to get said or nothing like that. But this is it's really becoming like ridiculous nowadays. The climate that we living in, like this shit is literally turning into a real life. Not that it wasn't real life before, but like a real present version of Sodom and Gomorrah out here, like for real. Like what are we doing? What are we
Right.
doing? You know what I'm saying? You let the women should have their sport, men should have their sport. Don't mean that it can't be the same as we already see. Basketball. Men's basketball, women's basketball. It's not that hard. Uh, I don't care what you want to try to turn yourself into or identify as. Whatever is on your birth certificate on the day of your birth, and whatever is gender is between your legs on the day of your birth, is the league that you should have to play in. And I don't see it any other way. No ifs, ands, or buts. No other way of seeing it. Like how dare? Like you can't. If Ennis Tanner were to, what I'm saying, even though they claim they were trolling. If Ennis Tanner was to go into the WNBA, he would be Wilt Chamberlain. He would be Wilt Chamberlain. You trying to tell me if LeBron? I think LeBron James at current age right now, if he all of a sudden said he self-identifies as a woman and that he's declaring for the WNBA draft at his age right now, I think he can go over there and average 50. And it's no knock to the women. It's not. It's you know what I'm saying. No, it's not to be disrespectful. It's just that we have to realize. We got to realize the realism of man and woman, and they trying to take that stuff away in society, but it matters. It matters, and it's there for a reason. So, like, I just think this is ignorance. I hope that I don't see anything coming to fruition out of this. I hope that they revisit the board to see that they didn't need to revisit the board and that they need to just keep things as is. It's like there's no reason to be allowing men who want to have a sex change to play high level competition sport against women because it's I don't care what you want to say about your Brittany Grinders or any of that type of shit. They're at a disadvantage.
I definitely can back that statement up, and I agree 100%. Mike, what is your thoughts on Royce White, that's his name, and Enes Kanter declaring himself for the 2027 draft in the WNBA?
There's a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that I want to say. But with my current trajectory, I don't know if I should say it.
Well, should I say it? Can I go first?
Don't forget what your current trajectory is built on, Mike. Let your light shine.
There you go.
Never be afraid to let your light shine, brother.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're letting your light shine comes with a level of darkness. So,
It does.
But at the end of the day, who are you? That exactly. You know what it is. Who are you? Either you are who you are or you ain't. You real or you fake.
well, I'm gonna say this. First and foremost, I think I want to say full disclosure that I am for anyone who wants to be who they feel they want to be. You can be whatever you want to be. That's what I was told. That dictates that you want to be a woman and become a man, or a man and become a woman. I'm not here to judge you for that decision. I'm not here to judge you for that feeling. I am not here to say that you're wrong in doing so, because I don't know what goes through the minds of those who make those decisions. With that being said, I want to take a second and bring up, Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner,
Mm-hmm.
who decided to have a sex change and then won Woman of the Year.
Mm.
And then was told that they were that he or she, they or them, whatever, was brave for this decision. Now, to me, that's a slap in the face to every woman that was deserving of that award.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there are other women who are women, born women, who did other accomplishments deserving of that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't even have a menstrual cycle. So how are you a woman? That's just my perspective. Like, how can you have no menstrual cycle and be a woman? So to me, Enes Kanter was in the NBA, and what was the other person?
Royce White. He got drafted into the NBA. I don't think he played an official game.
So what is the infatuation to go to play women's sports? Like, I would like the understanding behind why you would do that. Personally, I don't think it should happen. You were born a man, and that's what you are. You played in the NBA, at least for Ennis Cancer. Like, bro, what are you doing? Why come here? It's just like Joanna Man was a movie, and now that movie, 20 plus years later, is trying to become a reality. And there has to become a line in the sand. We have to get to a point to where it's like, okay, we're here now. This is what we're doing. Okay, we can do this or we can do that. But there has to be a line that we have to draw. There has to be, it's like, okay, this is too much. And, you know, the fact that they're seriously considering it is scary. It's very scary because, you know, to me, you know, all these leagues, all these, you know, places, they have a, not a dedication, not a job, responsibility. They have a responsibility to people, whether they like it or not. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if my mom were to have a child after me, I would have been given a responsibility to be a big brother. Nothing I asked for, but something that I had to do. And it's the same thing. These leagues, kids look up to these leagues. Some adults implement these leagues, you know, so you have a responsibility. And what you're telling them, in my humble opinion, is it don't matter. If you're a man or a woman, you can go where you want. And to me, there has to be lines drawn. And that's just one line that needs to be drawn. You should not be declaring for a WNBA draft. You're a man. You know, that's my thought on it.
Okay. And I like that you both shared your thoughts and your opinions on it, you know, because that's important. I think that this is a conversation that's not going anywhere. No. And I also think that it's a very important conversation in this current climate. And with all that being said, that's the reason why I think Enes Kanter and Royce White is actually doing this. It's not necessarily a troll move. I think it's an awareness. Okay. And I'm about equality. I'm about transparency, and I'm about truth. And the truth is, the WNBA is strictly about politicizing and putting things as being quote unquote progressive in the front lines. Let me give you an example. When the NBA and the WNBA came together and they did things for Black Lives Matter, right? That was fine. We know a lot of stuff at that time in the 2020s was necessary to talk about and to speak on, right? So there was a lot of players that was wearing different sayings and slogans and logos and stuff like that saying Black Lives Matter. Fast forward, the NBA experienced a lot of backlash because Kyrie Irving posted a video that he found on Amazon about Negroes to Hebrews. I mean, Hebrews to Negroes, I believe the title was, right? It was a documentary that was on Amazon, by the way.
Truth is still there.
It's still there?
Yeah.
It's still there. Now, we know that a lot of our history has been completely erased. We know it has been tampered with, and we know there's a lot that goes into it. They did everything but kick Kyrie out of the NBA. They pretty much bullied him to make a statement, and he wouldn't. And it pretty much put him in a position where there's pretty much blackballing him in the NBA. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm pointing this stuff out. I'm slow walking this thing down because I'm trying to get y'all to see that this has got nothing to do with basketball. Right? Now, comparing the two, Black Lives Matter and what Kyrie said, those are things I think are necessary to have, you know, conversations to have, but there's got to be a cap to it. Fast forward to the WNBA. WNBA players are now promoting Pride Night. And they do it in the NBA too, I'm not going to lie. But it's really promoted in the WNBA. That has nothing to do with actual basketball. Now, if we're talking about ethnicity, if we're talking about inclusion when it comes down to different type of communities, as far as anything that's not sexual and dealing with sexuality, then I have no problem with it. If they have a disability night, I have no problem with them talking about the disability community. If they have sign language night, I have no problem with them talking about people that don't do sign language. Right. But when we talk about a sexual preference and there's children there, these are the type of conversations that need to be had behind closed doors and not in front of children. So with that being said, the WNBA is trying to be progressive because they didn't want to put an actual word saying a woman is a girl that is born a girl. That's their problem. Their problem is they don't want to say those words. A woman is someone that is born a girl and is a girl biologically. They don't want to say that. So you have players talking about they feel it's only right and it would be progressive for them to bring a trans athlete into the WNBA, and then that's when a door opened. So who are we to say that somebody like Ennis Cantor, Royce White, someone who are biologically men, and we know them as men, right? Get in front of the camera and say, now I feel like a woman, I want to play in the WNBA. Who are we to say they couldn't? If the WNBA can't specify what a woman actually is. And I'm saying all this because now they're going back to the drawing board on how to word what is a woman when it comes down to Women's National Basketball League. Mm-hmm. And I know I was kind of long-winded with it, but I'm trying to get you guys to see that there's certain leagues that need to like tone it down when it comes down to be progressive, tone it down when it comes down to politics or sex or religion, because that could be something that is a trigger, and it's got nothing to do with the sport. But what I will say is this: the last thing I'm gonna say is I do believe that they will bar and block Royce White and Ennis Cantor from coming into the league. But gentlemen, do not be surprised if we get our first trans athlete, which there's one in France right now. If you guys look him up, he's playing in France. He's averaging 20 points and 20 rebounds a game. I don't have his name in front of me, but that type of player is coming to the WNBA next season in 2027. And if they're not in the WNBA in 2027, they'll definitely be in the WNBA in 2028. And that's going to be a problem for the biological women that are out there. So that's all I got to say. I think this is a point that they're trying to make. And I also feel like it's a point that needs to be addressed because this is going way too far when it comes down to sports and athletics.
Unfortunately.
I disagree.
Unfortunately. Sad. And it's kind of weird that we're talking about this today because yesterday I had to record 2 episodes of Honest Hour with 2 people who I've been trying to schedule for months. And one of them was a friend of mine who used to make rugged hip hop music, you know, and now like she suddenly changed and now she's like a Christian artist. And it's like a switch flipped in her. Like she's still the same person, just her message is different. And one of the things that she conveyed, was conveying was about people being who they are, and walking in their purpose, whether what that is. And that looks different for everyone, you know. It also makes me think, and I don't know if you guys remember this show MTV used to do called I Want a Famous Face. And like regular people who kind of like resembled like stars would want to like they get surgeries to look like them. The most notable episode was a guy that he resembled Jennifer Lopez, and he literally turned into a woman and tried to look like her. So, you know, I think that these things have always been there. It's just now more people are become more comfortable with letting their message out, even if possible rejection is out there. We can't stop it. We can just sit here and deal with it, and just let nature take its course, whatever that may be.
Right. All right. So, and moving on to the NFL. The NFL's preseason first game happened last Thursday. The NFL's Hall of Fame game.
I wanted to make note of something quick. The WNBA is also expanding their game count from 44 to 50 starting next season.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if you
Yeah.
knew that, but
Yes.
starting in 2027, it will go up to 50, which is crazy. I want to make
Mhm.
note that they just made it 44 less than within the last year. So,
Right.
the growth of the WNBA, is immaculate. So to go to 50 games,
Yeah.
it's going to be something. And they're adding teams within the next
Yeah.
few years. I think it's 4 teams they're adding. So we're seeing
Yeah.
some growth. I just wanted to make notation of that before we moved on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to add on to that, I want to say, as far as the actual game and the quality of game, from the time that when I was watching in the early '90s or the mid '90s, I would say, to
Mhm.
now, it took a huge leap because back in the '90s and early 2000s, there was only like 2 or 3 teams that was actually worth watching. Now it's
Mhm.
like I can watch pretty much every team because now they're bringing out superstars from all over the world. Their talent pool is definitely better. You see a lot of the games now on national television, so it's not like you gotta find it somewhere else or whatever, or download an app. So it's definitely available. So the game, as far as the actual game, is expanding, and I love it. I love the fact that um, the game is growing, and as a girl dad, I can honestly say I look forward to it because my daughter plays basketball as well. So you
Nice.
know it's something I think is good. But I just want them to make sure that they clean up and stop making it all about everything but basketball, which is whack. I just want them to hoop. That's it.
Facts.
All right. So NFL preseason happened this last Thursday. There was a lot of people talking about it online. It was the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, preseason is not really the spectacle, but it at least feels good to see a little bit of football. Carolina beat the Panthers beat the Cardinals 33-3. I'm a 33-30. So they beat them by 3 points. Carson Beck went off. He went 15 for 19 for 188 yards, 1 touchdown. Um, they had Hines King on the Carolina Panthers. I don't know who that is. 21 for 34, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not anything too impressive, but it's at least, once again, it was at least fun to watch.
Mhm.
I will say that Jason Horn's son, I believe it is, if my memory's, or Jimmy Horn's son played. He had 4 receptions, 44 yards. He's playing with the Carolina Panthers. So with
Hmm.
that being said, gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna start with Mike first this time.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on the preseason NFL game?
Well, let me say this, and I think you could both agree with this notion of what I'm going to say is it's always good to see that NFL football on the screen, my brothers. Oh, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
always good to, even if it's a preseason game, just seeing the lines, seeing 100 yards, seeing, as Hakeem and Coming to America say, the big H at the end. It's always a good thing to see. That I will say. As for the game itself, Carson Beck went out there and said, "Hey, I'm here." Yeah, I haven't proved anything yet, but what I like to see is transition from the field from the practice to the field. And what I mean when I say that is, obviously, you both know I'm a Steelers fan, and this isn't about the Steelers. I just want to make note of this to compare. Is I've been seeing a lot of videos of Drew Aller throwing down the field, doing real well, and people are like, "He's so great. He's our franchise guy." See, but here's my thing. I want to see it on a field at any level first, like even in a preseason, just to show you can acclimate what you've learned in the short time you've been in the league to a game. Even if it is a preseason game, it's still a real football game, right? They're still
Mhm.
tackling, they're still calls. So for me, watching Carson Beck was very interesting because he's there. Like, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Brissett, I'm not worried per se, but he needs to understand that if you don't play well, there's a chance he's gonna be in that spot.
Yep.
As for the Panthers, listen, Bryce Young did not play, but they played well, even with Kenny Pickett as their quarterback. Now the thing is, with the Panthers, there's expectations this year now. You made the playoffs, and
almost upset the Rams. Let's not forget, I almost got you with that one.
Yep. That's a fact.
Almost won the game, so now there's an expectation, and Bryce Young took a leap. So for me, watching
I don't know. Can I kind of debate you on that one, Mike? I wouldn't say Bryce took a leap. I'd say he took a step, but not a leap.
Missing the playoffs that's a leap to me, especially when you're winning 4 or 5 games.
Bro, not at 9 and 8 and some shit. Were they 9 and 8 or were they 8 and 9? Which one was it? Were they 8
better than 4 or 5? 9 is better than 4 or 5. Regardless, they made the playoffs, and there's an expectation. But Mike,
that's still a step, though. It's not a leap.
That's not a step.
Nobody's picking the Panthers to be a Super Bowl contender going into the season.
The Panthers have not been on prime time. That I'm telling you, in this,
what do that have to do with anything?
It has a lot. That means people are starting to pay attention. That's what that means. And there's an expectation, because if you want to say it's a step,
don't come off of a leap, though. I mean, just because you took it don't necessarily mean you took a leap. You can take a step in the right direction and still have expectations.
Hold on.
I just beg the difference between leap and step. As petty as it might sound, but it's a difference to that.
So 2024, 2,403 yards, 15-9, 82 rating. This past
15
year,
touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
15-9, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a leap, brother. That's a step.
That was 2024. 2025 was 3,011, 23 touchdowns, and 11.
Oh, you were reading off his rookie stats first.
Well, no, his rookie year was 2,877 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
Okay, so the first one you read off was the second year.
I was comparing the second year to the third year.
Yeah, like I said, just in my opinion, it just still sounds like a step. It does not sound like a leap. Now, if you telling me he came out there and threw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns.
Well, here's something that is forgotten about. Let's not forget Bryce Young was benched for the redheaded stepchild named Andy Dalton.
Why was he benched? Because he wasn't looking good enough.
And then he came back in, and then he looked like another player. That's all I'm saying. And then he led them, whether they went 8-9, 9-8, someone they weren't good enough, whatever. At the end of the day, they made the playoffs.
There still ain't no expectations on them.
How is there not an expectation? So now you're telling me that if they
not any real ones,
but there's an expectation to build off of last season is the point. I didn't say there's an expectation for them to go and win the Super Bowl. I didn't say there was an expectation.
You didn't. That's the problem. You didn't specify anything. All you did was say that there's expectations.
It doesn't matter what the expectation
The context of that matters, man, because when you just generally say expectations, that makes it sound like you saying, oh, they're going to be a threat this year. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so let's put it. So the Lions made the NFC Championship 2 seasons ago, but did not last season. You didn't expect them to go back?
Yes, but you talking about making the NFC Championship versus going from a bottom of the barrel team to struggling to finally make your way into the playoffs on incompetent quarterback play. Those are two different scenarios here. Go ahead and finish losing this argument. Be my guest.
There's no losing because you're not letting me finish what I'm saying, Negro. The point is that expectations come in different forms. I'm not saying there's an expectation for them to go and blow everyone out of the water, but there is an expectation for them to go back to the playoffs. There is an expectation for them to potentially win a game because you almost did against a team you had no business almost winning against. That's not an unfair expectation. Now,
I don't disagree with you on that point. And all you had to do was say, "I'm sorry, Ryan. You're right. I misworded that."
You had to say no, Mike. Let me shut the fuck up and let you finish so you can make your full take. How about that?
No, you just beating around. You beating around the bush now because I called you out. Put the Vaseline away.
No, Vaseline is for homosexuals.
Oh, man, stop. He beating around the bush because I called him out. That wasn't what you were going with it.
But I didn't finish my take.
Because I know you. You were going to sit up here and try to put heavy expectations on Bryce Young that he should be going to the NFC Championship or some shit like that. Am I lying, Raj? Ain't that what he do?
I can't say that's what he was going to say because I don't know. Not at all.
He was going to try to put heavy expectations on him.
Okay, let's look at this logically and with a lot of common sense. How could I put a high level of expectation on Bryce Young in a conference that has the Seahawks, the Rams, the Lions, the Packers? Like, that's 4 teams right there.
The same way you putting expectations on him to get back to the playoffs.
I didn't say me. I said there will be an expectation. You talk about wording and you're not listening to how I'm wording. I said there is an expectation, not that I have an expectation. I did listen to how you worded it,
and how you worded it was that they took a leap, and they did not.
But I also said there will be an expectation, not that I, Mike, have an expectation. There's a difference.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick about that?
Be an expectation for them to just be a little better. That's it.
Do you feel and this is for both of you guys, do you feel they have a legit chance at making the NFC Championship? Not saying win it, I'm saying get to it.
The Panthers?
Yes.
No.
From what they did last season.
No.
I can't say that. I still don't think they have enough talent yet. Now, if they come out and prove us wrong and look different, then hey, I'll live with that. But I don't think they're there just yet.
Then okay, if that's the case, if going off of what we witnessed last season, right, and what we know was to come this season as far as talent and the pickups they got or whatever, then I will have to agree with R&B on this one, Mike. The reason why I'm saying that is because there's a step that was taken, which was make the playoffs versus it being they went from a playoff team to now going into the NFC conference or the championship conversation. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. I just want to make sure that I'm being spoken correctly because I know
no doubt.
He be listening, but he missed that. I did not say Mike had an expectation. Okay,
I get you on that. But to be honest, to go back, it was only over your preference of using leap versus step. When you brought up the Lions getting to the NFC Championship that year, that, my friend, is a leap. That's a leap coming from where we had come from. That is a leap. What the Panthers did last year is just a mere step in the right direction that you hope that they can sustain.
And just like I said, for the record, I'm looking at the NFC as a whole. And, and it's going to be hard for them to even do that. Seattle, San Fran, the Rams. We expect them 3 to be there, right?
Yep.
Obviously, NFC South, You expect one team to be there, and I don't think they're better than the Falcons potentially, depending on
I
what
think they
put.
are.
Potentially,
I think they're better than the Falcons and the Bucks because of their defense.
Yep.
we know, it's gonna be them, the Falcons, and the Bucks, right? But then we look at that NFC North, Chicago. Now, Chicago. There's I have expectations for them because that throw alone that Caleb Williams did was crazy. The Lions, the Packers are there, and then the NFC East, someone's got to win. But Dallas fans think it's gonna be them. Philly fans think it's gonna be them. And then you got the Commanders. Maybe they'll look like they did 2 seasons ago. So it's going to be hard, and they're going to have to win a lot of games that they have no business winning in order to even sniff the possibility of getting to the playoffs again. I will say that.
Okay.
And with them being the playoff team this year, their schedule will the strength of schedule will increase this year.
It'll reflect that. Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little harder, that's for sure.
I want to say this, and I'm gonna let R&B go.
Yeah.
As far as the NFC South, right? You mentioned Atlanta. They're still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. So that to me is a red flag, right? So I don't really see them. That's the thing. They don't know.
So who's the other? Who's their backup? Because I know obviously Kirk is gone. So who's the other option?
They got Penix, and who else? There's another guy that they're fighting.
Didn't they? Did they draft a guy? If I'm not mistaken, or a guy that they drafted like last year.
Tua Tagovailoa is a quarterback.
Tua.
Yeah, I almost forgot. So that's why I don't believe in Atlanta, because Atlanta got a lot of pieces that are not. See, that's how bad it is. We didn't even remember that Tua was over there. Tua Tagovailoa and Penix is the quarterback. So those guys are always going to be on the IR.
Or Bijan.
But that's the thing. Bijan Robinson is a generational talent, but he just doesn't have a quarterback to play alongside him. So I don't really see the Atlanta Falcons as being a threat. As far as the New Orleans Saints, I really don't have any expectations for them. I think they're still in a rebuild. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Tampa Bay takes a step back this season. They played great, but they pretty much burned out all their players, and they didn't want to pay Baker. Baker Mayfield is still on a prove it deal, and it's messed up because he proved it already. Like, how you put him on a prove it deal and he already proved it for like 2 seasons?
What did he prove?
That they can make the playoffs. Now I know he does terrible in the playoffs, but you know what I'm saying. What more do you expect from him?
He proved that he could make a step, not a leap. And that's why they don't want to. That's why they don't want to pay him what he want to command that he feel like he deserves. Think about this. Down the stretch of the season last year, and a lot of those tight games where they needed Baker to step up and make plays to get them home to win that division. Partly how the Panthers won that division. Baker Mayfield 4th quarter interceptions.
Yeah.
4th quarter interceptions. Crucial. So, and then you come to me and we missed the playoffs, and then you come to me and want to, tell me what you command max dollars or whatever, and that you want to be offended if we want you to prove it. So that's why I think Tampa Bay will still be at least relevant to the level of what we used to seeing them at over the past 2-3 seasons, because I think Baker is going to play out of his mind this year, long as he can stay healthy, because he's motivated, and we know what he can play like when he's motivated. But overall, though, I just don't think they have enough.
Okay.
Tua could be interesting in Atlanta if he stay healthy with Drake
and
London.
That's the thing.
Some of those weapons.
That's the thing. And they got enough weapons. They got the weapons, but they just don't have the actual health on the health history behind them. So we'll see what happens. But with that being said, Carolina, I think, takes the division again. And I apologize. The Bucks did not make the playoffs last season, which is kind of
crazy. Yeah, they did. They did.
They went 8-9.
They lost out to the Panthers in that last game. Remember, Baker threw a pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
but that's the reason why Yeah, that's the reason why I don't really have confidence. And plus, Mike Evans is over in San Francisco. Well, whatever's left of him, because he's
Yeah.
already hurt.
Or
But go
they
ahead.
whole wide receiver room hurt.
Yeah, they got to move their facility because it's next to a electrical plant. That's the reason why they all hurt. But go ahead, R&B. What is your thoughts about the preseason game?
Man, it was solid. Right along with Mike, it was just good to see some football on the screen again, whether it's preseason or not, and just knowing that we less than what is it 33 days, 35 days, something like that away from the debut Monday Night Football. Chiefs are at is it Denver?
Yeah, Chief in Denver.
Yeah, so yeah, that should be a good game. Mahomes makes his return. But as far as like the actual game from the other night, I thought Beck was solid. As we alluded to, I thought Kenny Pickett was solid, but it is preseason, so I can't sit here and pretend that I watched the whole game because I didn't. I just turned on the beginning trying to see if any starters were gonna be put out there. But like I said, it was good to see some good football. Good to see it on the screen, and now I'm ready to get it going.
And opening night is a Super Bowl rematch Wednesday, September 9th.
Okay, so it's Monday is the Chiefs got the first Monday game.
And then Thursday, there's a game on Netflix, 49ers Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not interested.
And then, of course, Sunday night is Cowboys and Giants week 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Broncos Chiefs Monday Night Football week 1. Yep.
Okay. Sounds good.
One thing I wanted to say about Baker before you move on, Raj.
Yep.
You know, regardless of what, you look at, going to Tampa, he had big shoes to fill. Obviously, they had won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady right before he got there. But they kept all the other pieces. So, they were kind of looked at to him to come in and fill big shoes. Obviously, he's no Tom Brady, and it's not excusable. You got to make your own way. But they definitely were looking at him to do that. Excuse me. To do that for them, and he wasn't able to deliver. And like you said, I do expect that step backwards. I expect them to be competitive still. I expect them, they still have other guys there, but even like, Mike Evans is done. Essentially, like who like R&B said, what's left of him, or like you said,
yeah.
Chris Godwin is a shell of himself. He's,
Mm-hmm.
They're running
back there.
Now that guy, he's the future for them.
Yep.
He's definitely going to be that dude. But I just wanted to say that about Baker before we moved on.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think right now there's a lot riding on the success of the Carolina Panthers. I mean, this is their division to lose, in my opinion. Right. And I also feel we're going to see a lot of changes moving forward, with Baker, with Tua Tagovailoa or Michael Penix, because we still don't know who's going to play, who's healthy, who's not. So I think that's got a lot to do with it. And as far as the quarterback in, New Orleans, I mean, who knows who that quarterback is? I mean, they got Tyler Snow.
Tyler Snow, Shoe or whatever.
Snow.
Yeah, Tyler Snow. Hey, real quick, Rod. Homeboy from ESPN is real high on Shoe, and he definitely feels like people sleeping on the Saints. And he normally be on the money. The one who said Jaden Daniels should have been the number 1 pick that year. Bald-headed guy, black guy. I think he was a executive at one point for the Jets or something like that. I don't know why I can't place his name right now.
I got to look him up. But, okay, all right, well, I'll give you this. I think they're a sleeper team. I think that Tyler Snow. How do you pronounce his name?
Tyler Sue.
Shoe. Okay, so I think Tyler Shoe is going to be a quarterback that's going to sneak up on people. I do believe in that, but I have a feeling that they're going to take some time to get to where they need to go. That's what I'm
On the
saying.
money.
It's not going to be something where it's going to be like, oh, they just winning all of a sudden. I know they got Olave over there. I know they have a few other pieces on the offensive side. Defense is always pretty good in that stadium and stuff like that. But I don't know. I still just don't. I gotta see it. That's my point. I gotta see it to believe it. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting NFC South. Now, as far as the rest of the NFL, you mentioned another preseason game coming up. Let me see. What's the next preseason game? Does anybody know? Let me see. I'll look it up real quick.
Just have the schedule in front of me.
Yeah, me too, but I just lost it. Okay, so next Thursday, Lions versus the Bengals. Lions versus Bengals next Thursday, 7 p.m. Of course, preseason they roll out the bums. They roll out the people that they're trying to put on a what is it called again? Exhibit contract. A 10-day exhibit contract and stuff like that.
See what they can do.
So, do you guys have any intel on what's going on this Thursday? Like, do you know if the Lions are going to have any quarterback playing that we should be watching, or the Bengals got anybody we should be watching?
Not that I can really think of, but I will say I do want to pay attention to the Bengals defense. If they roll any of those starters out, I want to see if any of these free agent acquisitions or players that they picked up in the draft for that defensive line look like they're going to be something if they decide to roll them out. But I really don't expect no starters on either side.
I mean, I know the Bengals got – damn, they still got Joe Flacco on that team? Shit. Oh, man, he's old. Okay, so they got Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow, the Joe brothers. They got Josh Johnson, the guy that's in the Metro PCS commercial, whatever the hell commercial. He does commercials now. He's been on like 19. Yes, Josh Johnson's playing, and then third stringers Sean Clifford. Who the hell? They just got creative players on here, man. So there's nothing really as far as the quarterback goes. Now, as far as the Lions QB depth, let me look them up real quick.
Nothing special.
And you probably got more intel than me on this one, R&B. Of course, you know they got Jared Goff. I don't think he's going to take a snap this preseason.
I don't even know
got
back is.
Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, they did just sign him. That's right, because Teddy Bridgewater needed time away to get retired.
Okay, I respect that. Joshua Dobbs is a solid quarterback. and Luke Altmaier. I don't know who that is. Creative player. So let me ask you this, R&B. What is your expectations on the Lions this season?
I think they'll go 13-4, possibly 14-3. Due to strength of schedule, this should be a bounce back season for us to try to get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And those are my true expectations and thoughts of the Detroit Lions for this season.
And one more question about that, and then I'm going to pass it over to Mike. Is Jameson Williams worth drafting in a fantasy league?
No.
What? Are you serious?
Because it's not. Well, barring my prediction, I have to say yes. Barring my prediction, because he would have to be a big part of that production, which I think is going to be the offense that pushes this year. But it can get inconsistent for him at times. Like he might have a week where he go off and it's like, oh man, he got me, down there 100 points, some shit like that.
Right,
and then
right.
The next week it'll be quiet for him. It might be like 3 for 26, because you gotta remember he he'll take the top off guy for us, and he not Randy Moss. Randy Moss was a take the top off number one.
Right.
Jay is more of a take the top off second to third guy. You know what I'm saying? So he don't get those consistent looks if it's not there, or if they doubling it, golf gonna just go underneath all day. So
Okay.
I would say it's tricky.
I respect that. Last season, he had 65 receptions, 102 targets, over 1,100 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I mean, if he can match those numbers, he's a solid, wide receiver 2, maybe 3. Like he's really a solid wide receiver 2 in a fantasy league. I know we don't really talk fantasy here, but I just wanted to know because I had an eye on him for the. I'm scouting him right now. It's that time of the year. So, all right. So, Mike, what is your thoughts on the Lions? What's your thoughts on the Bengals this Thursday?
Obviously, like you said, they throw the scrubs out there. So, we're not going to see Goff. We're not going to see Burrow. It's just going to be exciting to see football. And then after this week, I really don't care until September 9th. But I think that I think it's important for these two teams specifically to go out here. And even if you're not, even if you are on the bench and you're not a starter or not going to make the team, go out there and just play. Obviously the Bengals overall have a lot to prove this season. One of them is that offensive line that refuses to get better can protect Joe Burrow, because we know when Joe Burrow's healthy, he can be a top 5 quarterback, and this team can be at the top of the AFC. But the problem is, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen Joe Burrow play a full season. That I can recollect, or he's always got to miss games, or they lose so many he's got to do these heroics and pull them back. One year they were 1-5 and ended up 9-8 or something like that. I don't remember. So for them, they have a lot to prove, especially Pittsburgh's looking to prove that they can be competitive. They're looking to prove that, they can win without Mike Tomlin, that, they made the right choice with Mike McCarthy against, most of us Steeler fans' better judgment. We don't like it, but we're here now. Especially considering that Aaron Rodgers just went out there and said Mike McCarthy convinced him to come back when he was going to retire because, these guys hate my life and wanted me to just waste another season of football. But that's not here nor there. And then when it comes to the Lions, they were, not last season before, NFC Championship, and, I think R&B has made it very clear that Dan Campbell made it a point to say, we don't know if we're going to make it back here. And, it was very underwhelming, but you still have St. Brown. You still have Gibbs, who just signed a deal. You still have, Jameson Williams. Is he the go-to guy every play? No. But that man golf whips it down there and he's open, he going to catch it and he can score. I'd like to see them get Laporta back into the mix because
he's healthy this year.
He back.
No. Well, what I mean is his rookie season, I took him in my fantasy, and I'm like, people are like, really? I'm like, listen, trust me.
He was eating.
But then last season, it wasn't even so much even when he was out there, the plays weren't dictated to where he was involved, if that makes sense. It's kind of like me with Bijan in Atlanta, why I'm always fearful to take him if I have that pick, because there's a lot of plays he's not out there. You can't get in the mix if you're not in the mix. So I would like to see more play calls for Laporta, especially down in the red zone area where he could be very sufficient. I know, to R&B's point and to your point you just made, he was a little banged up last year, but like I said, even when he was out there, it didn't seem that way. So, you know, I don't expect much out of this game, but those two teams going into the season will be very, very interesting for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think a lot of the preseason snaps are going to be what it is, you know. But I also feel it gives opportunity, if not this week, but maybe you know in the next upcoming weeks, the starters get out there and they show what they got too. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what's going to end up happening. But I'm just happy to see football. That's what it boils down to. Um, all right. So, is there any other NFL topics you want me to cover real quick or talk about?
Like Aaron Donald is coming back.
You said Aaron Donald? Is it official or he's like still making his decision?
He worked out for the team. What was that Monday? I mean, last week Monday, I think. So
nice. I think he's coming back. I think
he's coming back.
Yeah, at least one more year. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to give it a go. We mentioned the NFL rule changes before the show. What is your thoughts, Mike? Because I don't know much about this. What is your thoughts on the NFL rule changes and for challenging next season?
Yeah, what happened?
Can you guys hear me? Mike, you there?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Yeah, my daughter FaceTimed me and it messed the sound up on the iPad. So I had to refresh the page.
Oh, okay. No doubt. What is your thoughts about the NFL rule change with the challenging?
Well, you know, I really hate when they change things that don't need to be changed. Like to me, when they changed the rule for the challenges to where if you won a challenge, you got a second challenge, I was cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think this change personally is being made to create storylines, and I'm going to tell you what I mean. Let's just hypothetically say, there's a game out there, and let's just use Mike Vrabel, for example. He goes and it's them versus the Jets. Let's say it's a close game, and he dictates that so whoever can throw the challenge flag, and they do that, and then they lose, and then the Patriots lose the game. Well, now the discussion isn't so much about who lost the game, is about why did he challenge the play? Who challenged the play? I think it just creates drama. To me, to a point, the point that R&B kind of made off screen is, the head coach is probably going to be out there anyway. But, if they want to pass the blame, there's an outlet for it. I think it's just not a good thing. Leave the head coach in control. That's their job to make the challenges or decide when to challenge, and sometimes call the plays when they have to. So I'm not for it, but I'm not against it either. Either way, challenges are going to happen, but I think it just adds a dramatic factor if they wanted to down the road.
Right. I could definitely see that, because it's always something. There's always an alternative motive when it comes down to rule changes. R&B, what is your thoughts on the challenging for the rule changes?
Man, just like Mike just had mentioned, they can't leave well enough alone. Like, what is the point of this? What is the point? It don't make any sense to me. So it's like I really don't have too many things to say on it outside of the fact that it don't make sense at all. Like it's that's why the coaches make the big bucks. These are the decisions that they get paid to make. So why come up with a rule to give them a chance to, get out of that? It don't make sense to me. If I'm paying my coach what some of these coaches make. I want him to be able to, take a bad challenge or a good challenge. That's what I'm paying him for. That's why he's making the big bucks. So, at the end of the day, if this is what they vote on, then, we just have to deal with it. But it just don't make sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. I agree with that. Yeah, man. I don't know. I really feel like sometimes they just act like they're too smart for their own good, and they add or they subtract rules. I think they don't need to. It's just ridiculous. But hopefully it works out. And if it doesn't, then we got to revisit how we do the rule and change it back. So I don't know.
Right.
Is there any other things you guys want me to cover with the NFL?
Not that I can think of.
Not that I have, no.
All right. Yeah, we'll definitely have more topics with the NFL next week. Like I mentioned, the preseason game this Thursday, 7 p.m. I'm not sure what channel it's on, but it's going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be at least a decent game to watch. I'm watching for reasons of
it's probably going to be on Prime.
What you said,
on
Prime?
Thursday. Probably because it's on Thursday.
It's probably going to be on Prime.
Well, for us here, the local game, there's we got a doubleheader here on Thursday. Green Bay at Pittsburgh at 7, says NFL Network, and Tennessee at San Fran at 9:00, says NFL Network.
Wait, so there's 3 games?
I have 6 here for this Thursday.
Oh, I'm tripping. They only gave me 1 game.
Yeah,
you know what? You're right. You're right, Mike. My fault, gentlemen. My apologies. Let me go back. Okay, so this Thursday, August 13th, there's 6 games.
It's all good, bro. That's why 3 of us here. It's all good.
I'm like, are you serious? Wait a minute. What channel is that's going to be on? Okay, so we got the Lions versus the Bengals. Then we got the Packers versus the Steelers. Then there's the Colts versus the Patriots. Then we got the Chargers versus the Texans. And later on that night, there's the Cardinals versus the Raiders, and then the Titans versus the 49ers. You know, it's one I really want to watch and see who they roll out there, because I swear they're going to – now, I say this all the time, but I think they're going to actually go in the crowd and pick people to play. They're going to – that 49ers game. I think they're going to start recruiting at Walmart.
They're going to Walmart.
I think they're gonna walk into Walmart right before the game, like, yo, you want to play football? Because there's nobody that's gonna be playing. Mike Evans is out. Deebo Samuels is fat. He pulled the James Harden. Who else? What's his name? Pearsall, I think his name is, right? The wide.
He's already done.
Yeah. He done.
He's injured. Brock Purdy's injured. Ironically, Christian McCaffrey's the only one healthy. I think he's working some type of voodoo on these guys. What are your guys' thoughts about the 49ers and everybody injured?
Last year, R&B had made a point about Shanahan as a coach.
Oh, he got in a car crash too, by the way.
It ain't funny, but it's just like, damn. This team is going through everything. These niggas done reached the coach. Like they done reached the coach.
Destination. Final destination through the whole team.
I think that the 49ers always find a way to be in the mix. And this will be no different. McCaffrey played, I believe, every game last season.
Every game.
If I'm not mistaken, which is always good. Because he's still a beast, even going this deep in his career. I'm waiting to see who slows down first, him or Derrick Henry.
Right.
So, looking at this, for me, I think that the 49ers, obviously right now, it's just meaningless, but I expect them to somehow find their way into the mix. Don't matter who's throwing the ball, don't matter who's receiving. the system is the system. Like, and that's what Kyle Shanahan, right? It's Kyle Shanahan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what Kyle Shanahan has implemented there. He's been to 2 Super Bowls as a head coach. Fortunately, hasn't been able to win one. And went there as a coordinator and blew that one too. But he's definitely put his stamp on it. And I think if Purdy's healthy, they've gotten the best out of him. If McCaffrey stays healthy this season, you're always in the mix, and hopefully Evans can give you something still, because this man went from 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Almost tying Jerry Rice, I believe. I think he had 12, and then or like straight consecutive was the record, I believe. And then last year was just too much, because even the year before he missed a substantial amount of games and somehow still got the 1,000 yards. I'm like, how the hell? So I think that I think the Niners will find a way to be all right, one way or another.
Okay. Yeah, I believe so too. I think right now they just got to just get over the injury bug or whatever the hell it is, voodoo. But I think they're going to be.
Sorry, however, I don't see them over the Rams, especially if Aaron Donald returns, because I haven't read a confirmation. And like the Seahawks, I expect to step back only because people are going to be ready for JSN a little more this season. He's going to see some different coverages this season.
And they lost Kenneth Walker.
And Kenneth
Yep.
Walker,
and he lost Walker too. Yep.
Losing Kenneth Walker is huge, because not only could he rush the ball, not only did he block, he could catch out the backfield, and he could go anywhere, go in motion, that. This is going to be a test, because now it's going to put more work on Sam Darnold. It's going to put, and then Charbonnet was supposed to be their lead guy. He tore his ACL, I believe. He's out for the season, potentially. And now they drafted another guy. I can't remember his name, but I believe they drafted a receiver and a running back. So it's gonna be tough for Seattle. But I don't put either one of those teams ahead of the Rams. I just want to say that.
Okay.
Even without Donald. But if Donald does return, listen, we might as well just hand it to him now. As long as they stay healthy.
Right. What is your thoughts, R&B, on the preseason games coming forward? Is there anything you wanted to share?
Let's see here. I'll say the 49ers are done. I'm calling it.
Okay.
I'm calling it. I know that I've been an avid defender and praiser of Kyle Shanahan as an excellent head coach, and that remains steadfast. But at a certain point in time, man, that luck gonna run out. You ain't gonna always be able to keep having these injury-riddled seasons and putting the Band-Aid here, putting the thumbtack there. Oh, nail this back together real quick in a different part of the wood. Eventually that shit just gonna give out, and it's time for a whole remodel. And that's whether it be the Shanahan and Lynch regime being over with, and they bringing in some new, a new head coach, a new GM, because I believe they tied together, or maybe the 49ers decide to start selling high and unloading some of this talent to try to rebuild the talent that they do have, to try to rebuild through the draft again, because, you already paid Purdy and locked him up, but I just don't, to see them already, we haven't even played any type of meaningful football yet, just coming off of the Hall of Fame game. And before that, these brothers already got a whole, was it like 7-8 players on the IR already?
Yeah.
and this time it's the beginning of the season. So at a certain point in time, I got to start believing that you ain't gonna be able to keep withstanding. And I think that time may be here now.
Damn. I honestly, I think you're right. I think you're right on that one because there's too much going on, and I don't know what they have to do to fix it, but they got to fix it quick. They got to fix it quick. They got to either fire their doctors, their physicians, whatever. They got to fire somebody. Got to get fired, man. There's no reason why everybody should be hurt, and the preseason haven't even started yet. Can we at least roll out the ball before somebody's injured? That's crazy. So I agree. All right. A few more topics. I know we kind of running a little bit behind normal time a little bit, but I wanted to touch bases on the Scottie Pippen situation with LeBron James. If you want to cover it or go over it, because I'm not 100% sure what was going on, R&B. What happened with Scottie Pippen, LeBron James?
So Mike gave me better clarification of it because I never got a chance to see the full thing anyway. I only got a chance to see like a tidbit of it. But I guess, say you said he was doing like an interview, right, Mike? And they had asked him about, something about him and LeBron, like comparing them two if teams were to draft, who would they pick?
Yeah, so he asked him if you were to go to every NBA owner and they were to say to pick you or LeBron, who would they pick? And Scottie Pippen said, I don't know. Do you want rings or do you want accolades? Was his response to that question. Now, he knows good and goddamn well people are picking LeBron James. Now, he would look like an idiot had he said anything different. But, when you go and you look at the greatest players of all time, and, and I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for you guys. But when you go and talk to people about the greatest players ever, do you ever hear Scottie Pippen mentioned by anyone in that list?
No.
I don't either. I'm not denying him as a talent. I'm not denying that, he wasn't an intricate part of the 6 championships. But, Michael Jordan gets most of the credit. Like, that's just the way it's always been. LeBron, on the other hand, for me, looking at this from a bird eye's view, has gotten most of the criticism for the losses. And, they count, but some of them, man, some of them just irk my soul. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the first one in Cleveland, he had no business there. Like, let's be honest. It counts, but like, damn. Like it hurts. Because, you knew he wasn't gonna win. That first year when Kyrie and Kevin Love were out against Golden State. Like, he was there, but what did we really expect? Both of the ones in Miami, like you lost those, homie. 2 of them 4. You lost those, big dog. Especially that first one, because y'all was like not 4, not 5. If y'all would have shut the fuck up, you might have won that one. But Dirk was eating niggas that year. Beat Kobe, beat OKC. Did he beat San Antonio? I don't even remember. But I know.
He beat everybody. Lakers, I think.
That man was unstoppable. And my man, like, that's the one championship where I can say that man had no true, like, other superstar. It was just him, washed up Jason Kidd.
Whoa.
Bro, he
washed
was
up Jason Kidd?
At that point, he was washed, bro. Like, he wasn't the same dude. You can't tell me he was. I'm not saying
that don't mean he wasn't still good.
He was a very intricate part in them winning the championship, Mike. You can't say washed up Jason Kidd. You can't do that.
That's why I be saying Mike just be saying shit. Like that man wasn't washed up.
He
might not have been Jason Kidd from 2003, but he wasn't washed up.
Bro. 2003 Jason Kidd and
Put
that
some.
championship Jason Kidd were different.
Of course, they were different.
Nobody's debating that.
But
But
we're
he was
saying
still
you said
good.
washed up Jason. That now, if you would have said Jason Kidd on the Knicks, I would say yes, washed up Jason
Yeah,
Kidd.
I would agree with you right there for sure.
But
At
on
that
the
point, he was
Dallas
just a
team,
player
Mike,
coach.
come on, man.
Man, there's
That's
no
unfair.
come on. There's
Come
no,
on, man. There is a come. Okay,
Listen.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut off your take. I just had to say that because, and not
Listen.
trying to defend Jason Kidd, but we all watched those finals. He was a very intricate part in them winning.
I didn't say
Jason
that.
Kidd.
I'm just saying.
That whole squad.
But regardless of that, we can debate that another day.
Yes,
We can debate that another day.
because you had Mike Finley on the team, JJ Barea on the team.
Right, like he didn't have that true second guy. Like, you know?
Did. Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
JJ Barea is the true second guy.
Jason Kidd was the second.
Okay. So Jason Kidd's the second guy. I want you to remember this when we start talking about Joker and Murray again. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this.
See, I knew you was going to loop it back to that.
1 minute, 1 hour and 15. I want you to remember this when we start talking about this during the season.
I wouldn't say that Jason Kidd was the second guy. I would say that Jason Terry was.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, Jason Terry.
But he had guys, though. He had guys. That's my point.
Yeah, he had guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he didn't have, like I said, just that dominant superstar, you know? But to go back to Scottie Pippen, he knows. It's like, bro, you've been a clout chaser like the whole time you've been retired. Like you hate on Mike, you know, but and then you hate the people because they don't give you the credit you feel you deserve in the role you played. You know?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the credit, but it's like, bro, at the end of the day, you know, no one's picking you over LeBron.
Okay, well let me say this. Let me say this real quick about Scottie Pippen. I kind of understand why he feels the way he feels. He got what we call little brother syndrome. Okay, now we all agreed nobody mentioned him in a conversation when it comes down to the GOAT conversation, even though he got 6 rings too, right? However,
real quick, can I say this real quick, Raj?
Yeah, go ahead.
We might not mention Scottie Pippen when it comes down to the greatest of all time conversation, and that's when it comes to that upper tier room where I think, for me personally, I have Michael Jordan and Kobe. But up under there, and as you start to get a little lower, maybe room 3, 4, just because he's not mentioned don't mean that he's not one though. He's definitely one of the greatest players of all time. He's just not that upper echelon.
And that's my point. He's still kind of dealing with that identity issue because even though he's not top 3 or top 4 or top 5, he's still top 10 in most people's eyes and most people's books, right? But he's not satisfied with that.
I wouldn't say most, but maybe some. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say that you would find Scottie Pippen in a lot of top 10s with at today's climate where the game has grown and progressed to now with new players have come along. He's definitely out of the top 10, I would say, in my opinion. But being out of the top 10 again does not eliminate you from being one of the greatest of all time. You can be in the top 75 and still be one of the greatest of all time. Think about how many players there's been.
And that solidifies my point even more because he's dealing with an issue where he feels he's top 10, top 5 at least. I mean, top 10 at least, top 5 debatable. That's how he feels.
Don't say it. That's crazy. I can't say it's crazy for anybody to feel a certain way about the craft and what they do and what they love. But that's crazy, Scotty.
And especially when it comes down to talking about LeBron. If you ever notice, he takes it almost personal because they both play pretty much the same position, small forward, even though LeBron plays every position. But I'm saying as far as he looks at LeBron as being a old school small forward like him, he takes it almost personal. He takes it
Well,
almost
you got to
personal.
see,
People ask him.
for a long time before LeBron became along and did what he did, people was looking at the greatest small forwards of all time. People would say was Scottie Pippen.
And that's the point.
Because Larry Bird was truly looked at as a power forward, even though they put him at the small two, but he truly was a power forward.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I'm saying. So I think that's why he says these things on interviews, because he's digging at what people are saying about him and LeBron. And you also got to remember, Scottie Pippen, when he left Chicago, he went to go play in what was it, Portland first? Was it Portland?
Portland.
When he went to Portland, he didn't do what everyone expected him to do. Like, everybody expected him to be the number one guy when he left and went to Portland. He ended up becoming a number two guy under who's he playing? Was he with what's the name?
Rasheed?
Wasn't he with? Yeah, I think it was.
Hold on, you talking about Portland or Phoenix? I mean, not Phoenix. Houston.
When Scottie Pippen first left, when he left Chicago, didn't he go to Portland first?
He went to Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Houston.
Right. He did go to Houston.
Then he went to Portland.
My point is, he wasn't the number one option. He still fell back into that number two option or number three option in that case when he played out there in Houston. So what I'm saying is, like, they really thought they had a number one guy, and he didn't become that. So I think a lot of that has to do with his approach on how he looks at the NBA, like how he looks at the players like LeBron. He talks about him. He talks about who else he talks about. Every once in a while he mentioned Kevin Durant. So I think he's a little bitter. That's what I'm saying. That's the moral of the story. I think he's got that old man on the porch kind of thing going on.
Man, look, at the end of the day, who gives a damn what Scottie Pippen talk about? He sit up and he has talk shit about Michael when putting LeBron over Michael, but then he sit up and try to put himself over LeBron. So what did that tell you? At the end of the day, he truly think he the GOAT.
He think he the GOAT. That's what I'm saying. He honestly think he's the one, but he's not. He know it deep down in his heart. He knows he's not. All right. So all right. So,
about Tony Kukoc taking that last shot, and he's still mad about that shit.
Yeah, he's still bitter over the Tony Kukoc acquisition. See, that's another thing too. When Tony came on, Mike started leaning towards Tony because he was like, all right, I know this man can get a bucket. He watched him during the Olympics get buckets. It's crazy.
Well, remember when Mike retired and Scotty led them back to the playoffs, but he, in that game, that one game when Tony Kukoc hit that game winner, Scotty was mad because the play wasn't drawn up for him.
Right.
He didn't even celebrate with them after he hit the game winner.
See, he's a hater. That's why that's why his ex-wife left him for Michael Jordan's son.
That's another reason why he hates Mike.
He's like now his DNA taking everything I got.
Oh my God. Scotty can't escape the ghost of MJ, baby.
He really lived with the ghost of MJ.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man. All right, guys. Is there anything else you wanted to cover before we close out?
Yes.
Man.
I saved this just for this section.
Okay.
And I don't even want to say it. I gotta show you. Because this, and we just.
Wait a minute. Is it gonna piss me off?
What happened?
You heard what I said.
What you mean? Would I ever do that?
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't want to see that.
Oh man, I seen it right before we started the show.
No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I seen it right when we started the show, and I was like, all right. I was like, hold on, here it is. Ben Simmons sees his
I knew
NBA
it.
return.
I knew it. Let me say something real quick.
The quitter of all quitters.
I don't hate a lot of things, but I hate Ben Simmons. That man is by far the biggest criminal in NBA history. He robbed organizations of hundreds of millions of dollars. He quit on the team. He quit on the team twice. He quit on the 76ers. He quit on the Brooklyn Nets, right? And what makes me mad is he never declared he's retiring. And I knew this would happen. He never said, I'm retiring. He never said that. He went out, became a fisherman, won a championship with the fishing league or whatever the hell it is, Major League Fishing or whatever the hell. I don't care. I'm dead. I'm dead serious. I think it's called Major League Fishing. Wait, let me double check. MLF. Yeah, I was right. Major League Fishing. I was right.
It's real? Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was.
I was right. Ben Simmons, MLF, Major League Fishing. He won a championship with them. He walked around with the freaking trophy like he really won something, right? And the whole freaking time, this dude is scamming. I mean, absolutely scamming the NBA. He's still getting paid by the NBA. So everyone was worried about, is he coming back? Is he going to retire? Now he's talking about he's going to make it to the national team in Australia. He's going to play with them. And now he's talking about a return. And guess what, gentlemen? They got footage of him working out. I don't want to see it. I know it's summertime.
We know the Ben Simmons summer workouts are elite.
I know it's summertime. You can tell it's summertime when you see Ben Simmons working out in the gym and shooting threes. I don't want to see it. I want that man to retire. Free Chauncey Billups. Lock this nigga up. Free Chauncey Billups. Lock this nigga up.
So he been the real one gambler.
Listen, I mean, I seen it and I saved it because I just like, I can't.
I knew it.
Out. He said I knew it. He knew it too.
I knew
you were
it.
like, no.
That's why I asked. I said it's gonna piss me off.
Well,
because I said this got to be a Ben Simmons news. I don't want to hear that. This dude is a criminal.
Oh man, yeah, nah. I think he just should call it in. Like, bro, you have nothing to offer now. Like, I never seen someone age so fast. Like, bro, he was drafted in 2016. We're talking 10 years later, and the guy like can't play basketball.
He didn't play last year.
I know.
If you ask me, he haven't played since he missed that. He took that pass. He passed the ball. Remember
instead of laying it up.
Instead of laying it up, he passed the. He haven't
laying
played
it up instead of dunking that shit.
Yeah, right.
He passed the ball instead of dunking because he's 10 feet tall. He could have dunked it right in the basket, but he said, "No, I'm gonna pass it under the rim, even though I'm right next to the rim."
And can definitely get it in.
Yeah. So my point is, I feel like he retired back then, and I was like, what, 2019? No, when was that?
Nah. I don't know. Maybe 2019, 2021, somewhere in there.
Something like that. My point is, Ben Simmons gave up on the team, man. Ben Simmons gave up on the team. That dude averaged 5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists with the Brooklyn Nets. He averaged a triple singles.
Well, just like Cam said, I'm Ben Simmons. I don't play games.
I don't play games.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget sending that to you. I just said, yo, you got to listen to this and just wait for this part.
Right. And I knew it.
You knew as soon as he said
2022. 2022 was the last time he played, bro. That's over 4 years ago, going on 5.
It's terrible.
And he told me his back hurt. What kind of back do you got, man?
How? You ain't been playing. You was fishing.
I'm done. Anything you want to say, R&B, with this, or this is crazy?
Fuck Ben Simmons. What I did want to, what I did want to bring up real quick though was the Isaiah Thomas and his hate for Michael Jordan.
Oh
Look,
man,
I'm not saying that his hate for Michael Jordan ain't justified, because I think it is. Any way that he feels a lot of times is justified, in my opinion, when it comes to Zeke and what he went through with the whole Dream Team scenario and how they tried to drag him, so on and so forth. But he was recently on Lindsey Hunter's podcast, and they were talking about this whole scenario. And, well, if you take KD and put him in place of Michael Jordan with the Bulls, does he still win 6? And Isaiah Thomas was basically saying, yeah, and breaking it down on how he feel like, KD would have done this, would have done that, and how they still win 6. And then just yesterday, I think it was, I'm looking, and I see this report where Monte Ellis talks about, if you take me and you put me in the place of Steph, and give me them same teams that he had in Golden State, the results would be the same. And I'm just tired of it, man. At this point, it's like, first of all, I vehemently disagree with Monte Ellis. And I also disagree with Isaiah Thomas too. I'm not saying that if you take KD and put him on them Bulls teams that he may not be able to get 1, maybe 2, hell, maybe 3. I don't think he gets 6 though. I don't think he gets 6, and I don't think he goes 6-0 in finals play. And the reason, me and Will was debating about this, and the reason why, it all relates to the same thing with the T-Mac and Kobe shit, and it all aligns together. It's not just about the game and the skills and how they play. It's about the mentality. It's about the mindset, the tendencies. All of that stuff matters. And then when it breaks it down to Monte Ellis and Steph Curry, it's just about everything, because he's everything. And don't get me wrong, I like Monte Ellis, but he's better at everything than Monte Ellis. He's better. He's just a better overall player. Monte Ellis never averaged as high as Steph Curry has. He's never been the shooter that Steph Curry is. He's never been as good as Steph Curry. Outside of maybe when Steph Curry was first hitting the league, early Steph Curry. So these scenarios that these people be coming up with to paint they hate is just beyond me. It's starting to get out of control. Like, nigga, you not Steph. KD is one of the best ever to do it. He not MJ. They two different people. I don't care about he's 7 feet or 6'11", however you want to put it. Or, saying he lethal from the mid-range and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Is he Jordan, though? Because only proof we got to go off of is what we already seen, not what we think will happen. And we seen what Jordan did. And I've seen what KD has done. And if I have to look at the body of work, I disagree that he could go there and win 6 if we had a time machine. Like, let's stop it with this shit. It's getting out of hand. Let everybody's career just be what it be, man, and just leave it at that. We don't need to know, if you replace me with this, you replace me. How about if we replace all y'all to shut the fuck up? And you know what I'm saying? Because when you had a chance to do it, you know what I'm saying, you ain't do it. So, shut the fuck up. Man, that shit, it's just getting irritating, man. It's getting irritating.
You know what? And I'm glad you said that, because one of the worst podcasts that ever existed of podcast history is the Draymond Green podcast. He's one of the guys I wish would shut the hell up, because he talks so much about absolutely nothing. And I know his breath stink. You don't even got to ask. I know his breath stink. And I say all that because he's one of those that says the hyperboles and the hyper whatever, what ifs this and what ifs that. I don't care. Turn your mic off. So all those guys are doing podcasts, turn your damn mic off. Enough is enough. Did you win a championship or not? If not, then shut the hell up because we don't need to hear the what ifs. You guys played. You guys, left your legacy on the NBA. Big kudos to you, especially my man Zeke. I love Zeke. I think he got played when it came down to the dream team. I still feel bad about it. However, let your beef go with Michael Jordan. Pause. But you know what I'm saying. Stop beefing with Michael Jordan. It's almost obsessive. Michael Jordan is damn near 70. Y'all still beefing? What y'all beefing about, bro? Y'all beefing about nothing. I mean, you won your titles with the Pistons. And trust me, at that time, if you won a title, you won a title. So I don't know. I don't understand why I keep bringing Michael Jordan up. Stop.
Well,
unless y'all gonna fight, shut up.
Well, and the other thing that I will say is this: did you happen to see the beginning of the season when they kind of did they did like the NBC like basketball night, and it was the big return of it to NBC, and they sat, what's his name? Oh my God,
Mike
Black
Tirico
dude.
with
Yeah,
Mike
sat down
Tirico.
with Jordan,
Yeah.
and he
Oh, that
asked
was
him,
terrible.
and he asked him the same kind of question, like, and he was like saying pretty much not directly about Isaiah or anything, but the GOAT conversation, how it's a bad conversation in his opinion, because especially when you're comparing eras, to R&B's point, you can't say that you could put any player back then and they'll do the same thing.
Exactly.
Because the basket, and to me, I couldn't trust a current player to go back then because the game is too soft and they want too many calls. Like, go back and watch what the Pistons did to Michael Jordan in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Go back and watch how physical the game was. Man, these guys now, they break a fingernail, they want to take a game off. They want to do start load managing and things of that nature.
We haven't seen AD since he jammed his finger, and that's over a year ago.
And we were at a point now where it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Exactly.
Like, I just want to enjoy the game, but everyone in the past, they want to bring the past to the present, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Isaiah Thomas is upset. Like, homie, you are regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. He made top 100, right? That they did, or 75, was it?
He's in that group. Yeah.
Like, you made that. You won 2 championships. Offhand, R&B would know his accolades more than I do. I just can't think of them at the moment. But, like, bro, let it go. Let it go. All it is to me is just jealousy that you have not been able to get over. That's all it is. Jealousy you haven't been able to get over. I'm tired of Isaiah Thomas talking. I'm tired of Scottie Pippen talking. Y'all know I just wish Draymond Green didn't exist. Like, oh my God, I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy or everything I say is correct, but god damn. Like, if these guys can do it, I can do it. We can do it.
Exactly.
Anyone.
Exactly.
My 14-year-old could do it. Like, so I just really agree with R&B. Like, these dudes just need to shut up. Shut up. Who cares? You've had your days, and that's what we're getting at. And there's another one. And I want to bring this up real quick. And I don't know if this and confirm this was said, but it sounds like something he would say. Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley. Another one that needs to shut the hell up. Now, he was very critical of LeBron's choosing of teams and says that he's tired of LeBron going to loaded teams and then and maybe it wasn't him, but it could have been. I can't remember because it was like 3 weeks ago. But I read something. Pretty sure it was him. That said, if LeBron wins 2 rings in Philly, he's the GOAT. Do you guys agree with that sentiment? Yes or no, and why?
I'll start it off.
No,
Look,
no.
I'll say it real quick. Absolutely not. I mean, he can win 5 rings. He's not the GOAT. When it's all said and done, we watch the greatest of all time. And to be honest, that's all opinionated anyway. Because they'll say, oh,
Absolutely.
well, he was on a loaded team. He did this, he did that. So I don't want to hear no more. If he wins X amount of rings, he's the GOAT. Look, he already proved what he proved. If you're a LeBron fan, you view him as a GOAT. If not, then you don't. It's just that simple. It's an opinion. It's not something that's like substantial. So that's my take.
What about you, R&B?
I totally agree with Roger, except for one thing. He said if you're a LeBron fan, you see him as the GOAT, and if not, it's normally someone else. I'm a Kobe guy, and one thing I always say, Kobe is my GOAT, but
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT. So that's
Yeah,
not always true. It's a lot of people that'll tell you I'm an Allen Iverson guy, but
true.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I'm a Ray Allen guy. Oh, Ray Allen before he was just shooting threes. Young Ray Allen, man,
Oh, he
out
was a monster.
cold. But Jordan is the GOAT. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this. Like,
Oh yeah,
if
I get it.
people who not even Jordan guys still sit up and consider him the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to get that credit to LeBron. I'm sorry. You can call it what you want. You can say, oh, you just not a fan or you a hater. No, I'm just non-biased and viewing objectively. If he was to sit up and win a championship or two with this Philadelphia team, the fact that he joined the team that he joined automatically disqualifies. I can't even get it out.
Hmm.
Him from being able to move up in the GOAT conversation. It just does. You can't load up like this and turn around and this is like going to the park and everybody that play on the basketball team at the school, you know what I'm saying, all the good players decide to team up against all of the underclassmen bums who just play for fun and just always at the park. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And then they hold their chest out for beating on them. That's it's not impressive. You know what I'm saying? It's not impressive. You hold your chest up when you beat equal competition. You know,
Hmm.
when the competition is equal, that's when you can hold your chest out and say that you're the best or that you're the GOAT. And so I just wouldn't be able to give him that because this team is just absolutely too loaded, and he won't even be the guy. So
Exactly.
that's where I'm
Yeah,
at.
there's a lot of ways to look at it. Um, to me, people who put LeBron James as the greatest player of all time doesn't bother me. People who say Kobe Bryant's the greatest player of all time doesn't bother me. Or Jordan, if you want to throw Kareem in there, I'm cool with that. Hell, you can even throw Magic in there. That don't bother me. Um, but I will say that when it comes to LeBron himself, I feel like he faces the most criticism of any player. And yeah, he's moved around and things of that, but can't deny what he's done, obviously, and what he's done for basketball. But the answer is no. He will not be the GOAT. Even if you do win and get to six, you will end your career 6-6 in the finals. But on the flip of that, what people aren't talking about is if he goes to the finals and loses again, what that does. Because now you're 4-7 in the finals. Now the conversation is, did you overstay? You know, um, there would have been nothing wrong if LeBron announced at Fanatic Fest or just Twitter, Instagram that he was going to retire. Um, he would have had nothing to be ashamed of. He has nothing left to prove, in my opinion. But I knew good and damn well he wasn't going to do it. That he wasn't going to do that. He wants to win at least one more. And hopefully he can.
I mean, I think he can. I think the team is set up to win, especially now that the Knicks have won their championship. So they're going to be pretty much pressed the whole entire time going forward because everyone's going to be ready for them. As far as the East goes, there's only like 2 or 3 teams in their way, in the Philadelphia 76ers way, outside of the Knicks. There's other teams out there and stuff like that, but the East is wide open. Anybody can win it as far as being a competition or being competitive. Now, as far as the West, to be quite honest, I don't really see anybody going up against the Spurs and Thunder. Like the Spurs and Thunder, I think are going to battle in the West again this season for the West, unless there's like a team that surprises one of those teams. But
right,
it's pretty much set that the Western Conference is going to be Thunder, Spurs, because they both stack their teams with amazing talent in the West. Now, we can look at it another way where we say, okay, well, what if they go up against, let's say, the Thunder, and they, by experience, you got LeBron, you got Joel Embiid, you got Jalen Brunson. I mean, not Jalen Brown. You got all this talent on that team versus the Thunder. Yeah, they might be able to do something. I don't know if they're going to win against the Thunder, but they can definitely go 6 games. So what I'm saying is, if there's an opportunity for them to win it, I think it's this season because the East is open. But it all depends on how the finals go. That's what it boils down to. Who they face up against the finals. So that's it.
Listen, that's what we're rocking with. But hey, we there. So.
But with 5 rings, I will say this. I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
With 5 rings, and let's say he retires after that, Steph Curry with his rings, you know what I'm saying? I think that becomes a debate, like who had a better career, Steph Curry or LeBron in that generation. And I think that's what it boils down to. I don't think it comes down to like LeBron versus Jordan or LeBron versus Kobe. I think it just comes down to the generation that's playing together. LeBron, Steph, LeBron and Curry, LeBron and Curry. Both of these guys, they had Hall of Fame careers, and both of these guys will end up with what? 5 rings. Steph got 5, right? Am I right?
Steph is 4.
4. Okay. He got 4. So LeBron got 4, Steph got 4. So if LeBron wins a 5th, now that conversation will start like, okay, LeBron had a better career than Steph. I think that's what comes up.
I think that conversation has already started, and I think LeBron is no doubtably winning it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see, and I'm a Steph Curry guy, but I just don't see where Steph Curry can make up any ground on that argument. I'm sorry. LeBron has definitely had a far better career than Steph, and I love me some Steph. That's my guy, but he ain't had the career that LeBron had.
The only thing Steph has surefire over LeBron is shooting that 3.
Yep.
For sure. So, but yeah, well, before we head out of here, one thing I want to discuss is the NFL preview show. We're coming up on it. Agent Solstice has been texting me about his return. And I already told his ass, like, bro, when the Bills is on Monday night, you ain't coming on the screen. I already told him because he be bugging. My man just be screaming, yelling. So I'm thinking, because I know, Rod, your job likes to tell you to go fuck yourself on holidays, which would be Labor Day. So I'm thinking we should do that show Sunday, August 30th, so that Will can be available. Does that work for you guys to do it that Sunday morning. You know, it's a long show, so especially if 5 people are going to be on the screen. But
That's cool. That's cool with me.
I think that would be the day to do so if that works.
That should work. That should work. Barring any inconveniences, that should work for me.
Yeah, because that's Sunday. I don't have anything planned, and you know, like we could do Monday, but like I said, I think we're about to flip to Monday, so we can get Will in here. That'd be great. You know, because the following, right after that, the season will pretty much start. So then we'll flip back to Mondays anyway. So that would be our last Sunday. But I don't want to do the show, schedule it on the 7th, and then Raj ends up having to work because he usually has to work the holiday. So
Yeah.
Raj
all
needs to tell his job to go fuck themselves. Paganism day. Say it might be pagan, but I still want to spend it at home like everybody else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I guess we'll plan for next Sunday then. For this Sunday, the 16th then.
Sounds good.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Always a good time. We'll see y'all on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, peace.
Lucas.